Okay, we're on page 54, task number 1. We're doing a CRJ, okay, of Stranger Things, pest control. Okay, it's a services business, and we're doing the month of May. Cash receipts journal CRJ. Alright, so it's CRJ number 1. It's probably because it's the first month of the financial year. Financial year can start any month that a business starts their business. Okay, so if they started in this month, which is May, then May would be CRJ number 1 and June would be CRJ number 2. Okay, so left hand side will be the dates. Okay, the first day, the 14th day, the 15th day, etc. And that's the transaction over here. Okay, in analysis of receipts, we can write a couple of things. Or there's analysis of receipts, there's a bank column, current income, and then in the sundry accounts is, okay, so that's the columns that they give us. Alright, that will normally be given. Alright, so let's do the first one. Will Byers inherited 200,000 Rand from his grandfather and decided to start his own business, a pest control business. He deposited 150,000 Rand into the business's bank account. So in the business bank account, there's 150,000 deposited. He is left with 50,000 in his own personal bank account. A receipt number 001 was issued. Okay, so the source document will be a receipt. So let's take a look at the answer. Alright, so we're going to write under the document. Okay, we're going to write receipt number 001. It's on day 1. Okay, the person, the details of the person is Mr. Byers. We write 150,000 Rand that he deposited in the analysis of receipts, and then at the end of the day, it's only one transaction we deposit into the bank account. It is not for current income, so we leave that space open. And we put it in the amount in, or the 150,000 under the amount of sundry accounts. And what was it for? It was a capital contribution, so the account is called capital that we write in the details. Okay, so that's a full transaction on day 1. Now, day 14, a check was received from Dustin Henderson for the rent of a storage unit. Okay, I received a check. Okay, I received money, so it's in the CRJ. The person who gave it to me was Mr. Dustin Henderson, and he gave me money for rent. So it will be a rent income of 6,000 Rand. So I'm going to look at the answer, and it's receipt again, number 002, following 001, day 14. Mr. Dustin Henderson was the person, 6,000 in analysis of receipts, 6,000 at the end of the day in the bank account. It was not current income, so it must be in the sundry accounts column, and it is rent income. Okay, so that was what we put as details in the sundry accounts. Then the 15th, cash received for services rendered. When we see services rendered, we already know it's current income. 3,000 Rand as per cash register type CRT. Because it's the first CRT transaction, it will be CRT number 1. Okay, so I'm going there, and CRT number 1, the source document, day 15, we write services rendered, 3,000 in analysis, 3,000 in the bank, and if it's services rendered, it's always going to be current income. We write it under current income. So it must be in the bank column and then somewhere else, and that's the current income. Okay. Day 23, received a check from Mike Wheeler for the following services rendered. Removal of bed bugs at 3,000 and fumigation. Okay, so that's the most important, is you received a check again for services rendered. Okay, so we're going to write on the 23rd CRT, it's the next CRT, so it's CRT number 2. Okay, the 23rd, we write services rendered here, in analysis in the bank, and because its services rendered, to write it under current income. Then that was the 23rd, and then the 29th, received a donation of 55,000 from a well-known businessman, Mr. Lucas Sinclair. Okay, so receiving money, so it's in the CRJ, and so we're going to put it over there, and we write receipt. The last receipt was number 2, so this receipt will then be number 3 under the document number or source document. Date 29, Mr. Lucas Sinclair, under the details, 55,000 in analysis of receipts, 1 transaction, we put it in the bank account, and it's not current income, so it must be in sundry accounts column under amount. And what was it? It was a donation, so it's donation income. Then lastly, we don't add up the analysis of receipts. We add up the bank account getting to 217,000, current income getting to 6,000, and the sundry accounts amounts to 211. You will see if we add the 6,000 and the 211,000, we get to 217,000, which is the same amount in the bank account.